Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we will be taking a first look at the game Imperial Elegy, The Road to the Great War, 1850 to 1920, designed by Michael Lorino and published by VUCA Simulations. This is a thick old boy here. Pretty solid 3-inch box. Heavy, real heavy. You can see that wasn't even the whole box dropping, just half. So yeah, very thick. Nice artwork on the cover, obviously from the First World War, aka the Great War. If we flip this over, we get some information, of course, on the back of the box. This game supports players from, I believe it is, where is it? 1 to 6 players. So it can be played solitaire, and it's got a solitaire suitability of 9. Complexity is a 7, so this is not a simple game. As you can see, it's still in a shrink wrap, so I have not looked at the rules yet. I don't really know what's all in here. We do have our list of everything. It's got cards. It's got 7 counter sheets. 6 player display, 6 trifold player aid cards, the board, of course, 4 6-sided dice, 2 bot player aids, 1 major power influence track, 1 Great War information sideboard, a playbook, and a rule book. Now, in terms of its historical period, it starts in 1850 and goes all the way through 1920. So you're talking 70 years of time. And your players will be playing a role of one of the major powers of the time, ranging, well, let's see, you've got Germany/Prussia, the United Kingdom, France, Austria and Austria-Hungary, Russia, and the Ottoman Empire. So pretty decent group there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's 6. All right. So I'm going to open the box and we'll take a look at what's inside. So once we look at the rules, I'll have a better understanding of everything. I mean, I know more about it than what I'm letting on at the moment, only because I don't want to waste time. So with that in mind, let's just open this up and start going through the components. All right. So playbook and rule book. So let's start with, like we usually do, the rule book. So we'll push the box aside for the moment, and we have our 2 books here, 2 booklets, rule book and playbook. The playbook runs 44 pages, and the rule book is slightly thicker. Well, yeah, 60 pages. So yeah, this is probably fairly complex. Let me zoom in some here. All right. So yeah, the table of contents runs nearly 3 pages. So you got a lot going on. So let's go through this. Not entirely in great depth, because we don't want this to be an hour-long video here, and I'm sure you guys want to see the components. But for those of you who like the rules overview, that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so list of abbreviations. There's a bunch of them here. We won't go through them all right now. So this is a card-driven game, takes place over 7 turns, each turn representing a decade. If a Great War occurs, the game can be extended by at most 6 additional shorter Great War turns, numbered 1 to 5. Each of the 7 game turns consists of numerous player impulses, during which players play action cards for their command points or events. Kind of standard CDG stuff, right? The structure of the Great War turns are dealt with in 24.1. Players will use the command points and events to colonize, conduct diplomacy, fight wars, as well as hinder their opponents. A turn is over once all players have consecutively passed or when all players are out of cards. Players take on the role of either Germany and /Prussia, the UK, France, Austria/Austria-Hungary, Russia, or the Ottoman Empire. Italy should it unify, is not controlled directly by a player and instead interacts with the game using special rules. IE was designed primarily as a 6-player game, but it can accommodate smaller player counts, including solitaire. Okay, then we have our sequence of play. Each turn is comprised of 4 phases. We've got a prep phase where new cards are added to the deck. We reshuffle and deal. Optionally, players can each discard a random card to gain 1 stability. Cannot discard their home card or mandatory events. Then you have your diplomacy phase where you can make deals, announce deals in turn order, and select home card. Action phase in turn order, players perform impulses by playing cards to conduct actions and events. Then the end phase, militarism, gain 1 army step or prevent a fort from degrading, 2 degrade forts, 3 non-player power build step, 4 all naval units go to port, 5 set manpower, 6 industrialize, 7 progress truces, 8 progress WOIs, that is War of Independence, okay? Alliance resolution step, 10 decrease the world tension track by 1, and 11 on turns 1, 3, and 5, players draw 3 NGs, national goals, keeping 1, and 12 we advance to turn marker, okay? And game end and victory, what happens at the end of the last turn. An alliance wins the Great War. At the end of Great War, turn 5, which is the last turn of the Great War. We also have auto victories, victory point ties, national goals that we all already kind of heard about a little bit. Each player has a deck, small deck of 8 national goal cards. These represent possible objectives the players can have over the course of the game. Players can never show their NG cards to other players unless a card or national characteristic instructs them to reveal it. Okay. There are 2 types of NG cards, achievements and ranked NGs. Achievement NGs give players a special amount of victory points, or specified, if the player completes the goal on the card. Ranked NGs are marked with an asterisk. When selecting these NGs, players can earn 0, 1, 2, or 3 victory points based on the goal described on the card when compared to other players. Okay. Lots of notes and such in here. And then we got our map. So this is kind of a sneak peek of what that looks like. You've got the main Europe map. Then we've got an Asia submap, an Africa submap, Asia main map, Africa main map, South and Central Pacific submap. Okay. Map breakdowns. Okay. The left is a Austrian home space. Right is a non-player or Greek home space. Capitals, Paris and Ankara. Okay, so you know the Ottomans and the French, right? Alexandria is a territory, and the Sinai is a territory. So, oh, that's not Alexandria. My glasses need to get replaced. That's Bessarabia, which is a Russian home space, right? Then you got naval bases, Malta and Oman. Ports, Eastern Mediterranean and North Atlantic. Naval box, Dardanelles, special space. Flashpoint, Italian unification pace on the left and the Germans on the right, and then event boxes. Okay, so that goes through all your different types that we just kind of saw here. Then you have the color scheme for all of the various things in the game. So you have non-player and then the 6 possible players here. Naval boxes, European waters and non-European waters. Flashpoints. There's a lot going on in here, as you would expect. Denmark, Egypt, and the Suez Canal. That's an appropriate topic for that time period. Egypt and Tripoli. Power that controls Egypt also gains control of the other 2 Egyptian spaces, Sinai and the Great Sand Sea. Similarly, the power that controls Tripoli always controls Benghazi. In both of the above cases, place control markers in all the relevant places. The South space is out of play except during the American Civil War and when the U.S. enters the Great War. Japan comes into the game through the play of the Meiji Restoration card. And then they may attempt to take control of Korea and Manchuria. Polish and Italian reserve holding box, key concepts. So you got dice. All rolls in the game are made with six-sided dice, didn't say two. Most require one die roll. The exception is pacification attempts where players roll 2 dice. Rounding rule, you round up. Counter limits, so you're limited to the number of counters that they have. German, Austrian, and Ottoman players have a counter limit of 2 squadrons and 2 dreadnoughts until an event or ability grants them additional units. The Austrian and Ottoman additional units are marked with a NAR to indicate they only brought into play via the naval arms race event. No counter limits. There are no limits on the following: control counters, pacification counters, independent minor power markers, wars of independence markers, and trench battle markers. Turn order. When instructed to do so, play proceeds in the following order: Germany, United Kingdom, France, Austria, Russia, the Ottomans. Active players, impulses versus turns. That's probably pretty self-evident to most people, I would think. Impulses are like pieces of a turn. Powers, you have the player powers and the non-player powers. Non-player powers are further defined as either major or minor powers. Okay, then you've got control colors. You can see some highlights on the board here. Foreign affair markers, influence and control, diplomatic ties, control minor powers, control minor power allies versus control. You don't control spaces controlled by your minor power allies. This means such spaces do not increase that player's keys or manpower. War and peace. There are 3 game states: peacetime, wartime, and the Great War. Game state indicates where players can move their units and who is hostile, allied, or neutral to one another. Peacetime is the game state where no power is actually fighting a war against another power. While at peace, players can only move units into spaces that they control. This includes uncontrolled spaces where they have influence. Important, players can still attack rebels and conduct pacification actions during peacetime. Okay. This is all, wartime, Great War, friendly, enemy, and neutral. Then you've got your units. We have land units, reserve armies, elite corps, expeditionary forces, elite colonial expeditionary forces, zouaves, naval squadrons, dreadnoughts, of course. You do not have dreadnoughts. Lines of communication, non-player supply sources, etc. Miscellaneous counters, a whole bunch of these. We got Indian stability here. Rights and citizenship, lots of stuff. Oh, jihad. Okay, and you got stability tracks, manpower tracks, industry tracks, the territorial and colonial keys, and explanations of all that. The alliance system, of course, that's a big deal. Action cards. You've got major power influence track here. Interesting. The alliance track. You got the triple alliance here and the triple entente. We'll go through the cards. Action cards. The bot box. Sequence of play. So it goes through everything that we kind of saw at the beginning, right? You got your prep phase, your diplomacy phase, your action phase with all kinds of sub things inside there for the impulses. How many command points it takes, for example, to do naval movement or construct fleets. Things like that. Remove influence or diplomacy, major power influence track, minor power alliance, remove minor power alliance. That costs 4. It's kind of expensive. Expeditionary force, pacification, constructing forts, industrialization. The Ottoman player does not industrialize like the other players. They can only industrialize through the play of their modernization home card. Command point chain saves the CP on that card for a further impulse, for a future impulse, to conduct a single action. Redeployment, declare war, land battle actions outside wartime. Cannot declare war, wartime sequence of play, war aim steps, all kinds of stuff in here. Liberation, liberating minor power, special liberation, unification for with Italy, specifically having one there. Attacking non-player powers, all that stuff. Alliance setup, and how that works. We got maneuver steps, victory step. So rail movement, land battle, occupied versus control, non-player powers in wartime, knocking out wartime allies, and victory step. Demobilization, land battles in their sequence. We have some example. We have a nice example here of the Austro-Prussian War with land battle in it. You can see all the chits or counters all spread out here on the map. Naval affairs, and how the naval stuff works. Again, more examples for a naval battle up here. Amphibious assault. Then your end phase. Rebels. Italy and Poland. The crisis table. The Great War. Great War sequence of play. So you have outbreak, then that's kind of a preliminary, and then you have the planning step, the maneuver step, the winter step. And it walks you through that. Italy in the Great War. Entering the Great War at 0 stability. If you enter it with 0 stability, the player immediately gains 1 stability. Alliances and the United States. National will step. The planning step. The maneuver step. Great War combat. We got trenches, of course. Wouldn't be the Great War without trenches. Trench battle example, the Battle of Verdun. Okay. The winter step. Stability and elimination in the Great War. Ending the Great War. Great War special rules. The U.S. in the Great War. Italy in the Great War. Attacking neutral powers. Attacking neutral non-player powers. Rebels. And the sideboard for the Great War. National characteristics. So everybody's got their own, it looks like, maybe. So yeah, the Germans have some stuff here, including blood and iron, of course. German unification. Then you got your UK characteristics. Professional army, join your country's army. The Indian army, maintaining status quo. Rapid deployment. Crown jewel, British banking. Then you got India has its own section here, an Indian fort. French characteristics, the Austrian characteristics, the Russians, the Ottomans. Rounding it out, then you got the bots. So when playing with less than 6 people, players can be controlled by Imperial Elegy's bot system. Any number of players can be bots, and bots can be substituted for any player. Real life players use the bot player aid card to determine what a bot does on its impulse. And this walks you through how all of that works. When I play this, I will likely play it solitaire. That's the end of this. We do have an index. Likely play it solitaire, so you'll get to see the bot in action. Playbook, got various scenarios here. So you have the campaign and tutorial. Then we have an 1870 scenario, an 1880 scenario, a no Great War scenario, historical Great War, which is Great War tutorial. Then you have alternate Great War setup, and then alternate Great War, 3 scenarios for that. We've got an extended example of play that will be useful to see here. Seminole Catastrophe Strategy Primer by David Hill. So you get notes on all the various countries, playable powers, and your design notes for each of the playable powers as well. Suggested seating. It's interesting that Austria's up here and Germany's down here when they're kind of that way on the. I mean, these make sense. The UK is also at the bottom, so maybe that's, you know, something about the colonial ambitions of these nations. I don't know. I mean, these 3 didn't really have much in the way of colonies. These 3 had many colonies. Well, these 2 especially had many colonies. Germans had a fair share, though. Scenario 1, campaign and tutorial. Tells you where you set everything up. So that's 1870. This is 1880. And there's Bismarck. You got the historical Great War. Or is that Hindenburg? No, that's Bismarck, isn't it? Maybe that is. I don't know. And I feel dumb. Alternate Great War setup. Alternate Great War scenarios. I know that guy. That's Woodrow Wilson. And we've got Central Europe, foreign investment, Indian Ocean arms trade, wartime extended example of play, card descriptions. So descriptions for every card in the game. There are a lot of them. 112. And the last one is Franz Ferdinand. And then the Great War card descriptions. Strategy primer, as promised. And then the design notes. And then your national goal cards for all the various countries. This is cool. This is really cool. Home cards. Yeah, that is Bismarck. That's what I thought. I'm sorry. It's like, oh, Hindenburg? No, that's not Hindenburg. All right, the crisis table. Okay, now let's do the regular components here, shall we say. So let's slide this up here and do this way. So here we have the Austria-Hungary card, I guess. And, it's got setup stuff on the back. It's kind of cool. You can see Italy's effect and so on, right? Minor power setup. But here is their main card with their national characteristics, their special actions, event holding box, things for armies, and their various tracks. So that's Austria/Austria-Hungary. And we have the French with their very blue colors here, appropriately so, I guess. Empire or Republic. You start as the Second Empire. If you lose a war or if French stability ever reaches 1, it immediately becomes the Third Republic. Switch cannot happen during the Great War. So you could theoretically stay in Empire until the Great War. Each government special abilities. So then you've got this, right? All that stuff. And then their boxes and tracks. And on the back, we have their setup and the minor powers around them, I guess. And then, some pictures to help you see where they have stuff in, like Ethiopia down here and Algeria, influence in West Africa, and so on. And then, of course, the home area right there on the large part of the bottom, I guess. The Prussians/Germans, right? Okay. Dark gray, kind of appropriate, right? And you got their national characteristics, the holding box, colonial keys, because they have colonies, as did the French. Their various tracks as well. And on the back, the setup, the Baltic Sea box and their general area. And then you can see their main stuff here and then their minor powers, right? So, I mean, These are obviously parts of Germany, but they were separate from Prussia at the beginning of the game. So put that there. We got the Ottomans here. They've got Arab keys and all other keys. They've got a pretty decent list going here of that stuff. It's a little well, I guess the Germans were similar. And on their back, of course, you have Ottoman setup, minor powers, and then graphical depictions thereof. And we have the Russians, which means the UK must be at the bottom, and it is. So these are the Russians. They've got a lot of potential keys here, 20 of them. The Ottomans had 14. And on their back, of course, you get the Russian setup and all of the graphical representations of it. And these are pretty thick cardboard. VUCA does not disappoint in the quality of their components. And of course, the UK. So they've got 17 colonial keys going for them. Pretty impressive. Their territorial keys, their national characteristics, and then on the back, they're set up. They've got a lot going on with their navy and all that stuff, as you would expect. And the end phase build box, and then just kind of images of where all that stuff goes. Lots and lots of Navy, the Royal Navy, of course. Major power influence track. So it runs from 0 to 10. And there are 7 on here because Italy has one of its own, although it does not start, of course, as a power. And even when it comes into the game, it is not a playable power. And we have our counters. So here we have this being purple. You can see the flags of some of these, right? Of who these are. We've got Americans, we've got Poles, you know, Romanians, Greeks, Serbians, Bulgarians, all kinds of stuff, all sharing the same color. There are the Italians. And some ships to go along with it. And on the back, you do have, they are double-sided, so you do have backs. You can see alliance markers and so on. Seminole Catastrophe. I wonder if that's what they originally called this, because it doesn't say Imperial Elegy on it. Then we have the more national playable countries like France and the UK, and their markers. More neutral markers, or minor countries, I guess, the unplayable guys. American influence, Japanese influence. Also double-sided, of course, as you would expect. Then we go to 3. Here we get some Austrians, or Austro-Hungarians if you prefer, the Ottomans as well. They're all fairly similar in general, right? Same types of things, double-sided. And we got a couple more to go here. Germans. Germans have a sheet mostly to themselves, it looks like. And number 5. These are mostly markers, apparently. See various markers. There are some units on here. Ottoman ships, French ships. Double-sided. Of course, and then more markers here. Number 6. So we have trenches, so this would be Great War stuff. Some of it, at least. You got a United Italy marker there. with Garibaldi on it, I guess. And the other side. And the last one, turn marker, all kinds of track-related stuff, world tension, etc. Power projection, German stability, various stabilities. There's the UK, Austria, Russia, France, Ottomans, industry markers, joint naval operations, your keys, industry, all kinds of stuff. All right. Player aid. Ugh. So this is the bot player aid, two-sided. So it starts here. Okay. There are two of them. So you can see here, they are identical. Bot diplomatic interest table. And all of it's like war aims and budgeting and all kinds of priority type stuff. They're at priority actions, influence table, etc. So I'm sure that's fairly well developed, of course. Then we got our regular player aid card. There are two of these as well. Lots and lots of tables and modifiers in here for all kinds of stuff. As you can see, it is big, trifold, double-sided on all three panels. So you get 6 full panels here, all kinds of stuff. And then you get the flag, the keys to the flags. So you can tell what country's what, I guess, if you're not up on your 19th century flags. Fun with flags. Sheldon Cooper would be all over that. All right. Oh man, there's even more. Well, there's multiple copies, right? We've got, that's 4. And of course, there's going to be 6 of them. 5, 6. Everybody gets their own. And here we have the map. But before we get to the map, let's look at the other stuff. Here we got 4 dice. We got some cards. Home cards. Right. Then you have your national goals. And we have action cards. Indian Ocean Arms Trade. And more action cards. Right, some of those would be Great War cards, of course. Then we have a Great War manpower and stability track here. Trench battle holding boxes, 4 of them. Well, that's kind of neat. I like how they put stuff on the back. Usually the back is just kind of like blank, but they actually put some maps on here. It's pretty cool. Central Europe. Very nice. Very nice. Kudos, as always, to VUCA on their production quality. Now, let's see how big this, see how big this board is. Without breaking anything. It's pretty large here. I got to move some stuff and zoom out, so I'm going to pause. Okay, so here is the map. It is, or the board, if you would prefer. There is a map on it, but there's a lot of other things on it as well. So, of course, here is your main playing area, right? You got your French, you got your Austrians, your Germans, your Russians, your Ottomans, some minor stuff. We got the Greeks down here. Got the Italians, of course, and then you've got North America over here, Western Mediterranean, and Africa. So a lot of Africa here. And we have North Africa, Eastern Mediterranean. So you've got your Palestine, Sinai, all that good stuff. Arabia, Mecca, Sudan is on here. You got your alliance track, initiative order for wartime. Let me slide this up in case you couldn't see the bottom. I might not have zoomed out far enough. But now you get a picture here of the bottom. So you can see there's a lot of boxes in Africa. Of course, there was a lot of colonial activity. centered around Africa in the 19th century. I'm getting shadows from the box and stuff. That box is so big, I'm not surprised. So again, the Mediterranean, Western and Eastern, main Africa box. Then, of course, over here, well, you have the Black Sea, of course, and then you also have, the Arabian area down there. And then over here, we've got the Indian Ocean area, your Pacific Sea box. So you can see you've got here with the Indian Ocean, you've got everything from Japan to China, of course, and India, and the Horn of Africa, and all kinds of, New Guinea and Australia and New Zealand and Singapore. So a lot of the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean. South and Central Pacific Ocean is here. You got a little holding box here for the Polish reserve armies and the Italian reserve armies. And then our turn track. 7 for the main game, your Great War turn track, and then your World Tension track. Flashpoints. Got Italy, King China. I think that's how you pronounce that. And Japan, Germany, Africa, the Balkans, the Low Countries, the Caucasus, the Great Game, right? Central Asia, power projection, and then your victory point and power projection track is at the bottom. So that is the end of our first look at Imperial Elegy, designed by Michael Lorino, and published by VUCA Simulations. This is a relatively new game, I believe. I purchased 3 games from VUCA. It was 3. It was this one and the Against the Iron Ring, and of course Traces of Victory. So that will do it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it was relatively long. The rule book was a bit of a beast. And yeah, this is a game that is extremely interesting to me, but it's going to be a bit of a bear to learn it probably. So I can't say when I'll get around to playing it. Hopefully not too far down the road. This is not a monster game, but in terms of effort learned involved in learning it, it probably is close to that. But we're done for now. I appreciate you guys watching. Quick shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys, as always. For everyone else, thank you again for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, hyping, and or subscribing. Also, if you have anything to say, questions or comments, put them in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. But that is going to do it for this one. I am Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, as always, happy gaming.